Hello, everyone. Welcome to another pair of VICTOBER reading sprints. It's just gonna be me tonight, so it's gonna be probably a lot of reading and not a lot of chatting, but I'm sure we'll have a cozy time. And if there are enough people here, we could do some of the quiz games, but that really just depends on um, if there are enough people here to play them. But we can see whether we want to do that during the first sprint. If you are here, do let me know what you are currently reading or what you've already been reading for Victober. I would love to know. I just finished Moonfleet, which I didn't super love, but it was fun enough. And then, of course, I've been reading Hester, which has been a wonderful experience. I'm really enjoying our group read. And then I'm going to start Ruth today by Elizabeth Kessel. Oh, the reflection is really strong. I don't think you can even see the title. Oh, now you can. I do like this edition of Ruth. So this will be. Oh gosh, I've read quite a bit by Elizabeth Gaskell, but this is one of her novels that I've not yet read. So I've read Mary Barton, North and South. North and South was the first Victorian classic I ever read, and then Wives and Daughters, and then a whole bunch of Cranford, and then Cousin Phyllis and other stories and some Gothic tales, and then I think this is kind of the next one, and then you have Sylvia's Lovers, I believe, if I say that right correctly. Which I think are those all Elizabeth Gaskell's novels. I mean, I never really do a Victober without Elizabeth Gaskell. Oh, there are already some people here. Hi. What are you reading? Let me know. Hello. Love to see some familiar names. Hi, Evie. Hi, everyone. Just got home, but think I will start with the Hester chapters. Yes, great plan. And then see what I'm in the mood for. I feel like for me, it's always the first priority reading wise on the day to get my chapters of Hester in. And then I see whatever I get up to. Although I have had the goal to read 100 pages a day, and it's working so far. So then it's like 20 pages of Hester, and then now I'm gonna try and read until from page 1 to 81 today of Ruth. I don't know if I can manage that during the sprints, or maybe I will have to keep on going later tonight for a bit. But yeah, it's working so far. Hello. Just started The Bath Comedy by Agnes and Ashburton Castle, which is my pick for Jess's challenge. That is historical. Yes, I think so. Hello. I'll be reading a Victorian poetry collection for my dissertation. It's called Sight and Song by Michael Field, although I don't think anyone else has heard of it. I mean, I have not, but I guess if you're doing academics, then sometimes you have a bit more of an obscure thing you have to read. Are you enjoying it at least a little bit? Hey Martin, it's just popping in for a short one as I have my guitar class. On recommendation from a subscriber to Katie's channel, I'm starting a Halloween party by Agatha Christie. I read that, I think, last year or the year before that. I don't know if I loved it, but I never really loved Agatha Christie, but I did have a good time with it. And it's great for October, I would say. I'm reading The Lost Hope by Gatelli Jostrel. That's not Victorian, I think, right? No, you're just here for the vibes. That's good. Currently reading The Greatest Salesman in the World, which is a short book. Is that Victorian as well? I don't know. Hi, I learned of your channel when you hosted Reads with Nicole. Oh, yes. I love doing sprints with her. Reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, that's a good one for October as well. I remember reading that and not really like getting it all that well. So I should reread that at some point, I think. I'll be starting Ruth soon, yay! But I'm reading Villette and Hester right now. Oh, those both sound really beautiful. I mean, I've not read a lot of Hester, but I love Villette, one of my favorite Victorian classics for sure. Oh, you're never late. I'll be reading Hester, and Ayala's Angel. Beautiful title. Is poems based on famous paintings? Oh, I love that. Field is actually a pen name for two female writers who were co-authors and lovers. That is really cool. I feel like you have picked something great to write about. Sometimes they do that when they have like poems based on paintings, and then the book doesn't have pictures of the paintings, and I feel like I've been robbed of an experience. Please tell me that however you're consuming it, you have access to the paintings. See, I've listened to three chapters of A Study in Scarlet today. Oh, that was my first Sherlock Holmes I ever read, and I think it's one of the more easier ones. So I hope you enjoy it. Um, I think we should just get right into the reading, and then we can all get a good head start, and we'll see whatever we do after the first or second sprint. I'm doing a bit longer sprints because we'll probably do less chatting. So we'll do 45 minutes, and I usually do about 3 sprints. So I'll be here for a while. All right, a happy reading, everyone, and I hope you enjoy your read. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, yes, I am back too. Oh, we have some new people. I can see. How did your sprint go? I read, let's see, a little under 30 chapters of Ruth, and knowing what the story is about, I already can see which characters are going to cause a lot of problems in this book or are going to cause deep problems. So Ruth is, I think it said, like, in body still a child. So I guess she's in her late teens. And she works with a lot of other women for someone who sews, I think. And it's described how the work is very tough and it's like working till late at night, barely any sleep, not very dignified. And it's also described how she, in appearance, is very beautiful, which reminds me of Tess, and God, was not a positive thing for Tess at all. And I think it's not going to be a positive thing for Ruth either. Um, I have an audiobook, but I don't think the audiobook is very good that I have. Mine is narrated by, let's see, Laura Sears. So if you know of any other existing, this is the only one I could find, please let me know because I want a better audiobook. Because she does the voices, especially the voice of Ruth, very childish, which I guess makes sense because she is in her late teens, but it's a bit annoying. Yeah. Let's see, where was I? Content wise or comment wise? Wow. Let's see. Yes. I've been listening to Dracula today. Oh my gosh, love it. I watched Nosferatu, a film which I didn't know was basically just Dracula with a bit of a different ending. But yeah, it reminded me of how much I lost Dracula. I hope you're enjoying it though. It's a very cheap Kindle copy, so I'm having to Google the paintings. No, that's a lot of work, but still fascinating, I bet. Hello. I hope to finish 3 Men in a Boat today for Kate's challenge. Oh gosh, I never remember. Is that the friendship challenge? I think so. For for a short book, it seems long. Oh, then you, yeah, yeah, it does have friendship, I think. I've never read that one, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it. Hello, finished 2 chapters of Hester, now listening to Middlemarch. Oh my gosh, are you enjoying Middlemarch? Let us know. I'm watching the TV show right now, which I'm not like loving. It's a 1994 one, which I got on DVD. It's like okay. Like I like the main characters, but all the side stories, well, I love them in the book. It's a bit dull in the series. Um, what are the crowns beside people's names? I do not know. I think it has something to do with if you're a person who has like left a lot of comments on videos and then you get a crown. I think that's it. Um, but I don't know. I'm not sure. It has nothing to do with money. It's like I don't have a membership thing for YouTube, so it's not that. Yeah, I guess it was chapters. Yes. uh, I love that your new magical readathon character is called Evie. Did you name her after me? I mean, maybe subconsciously. I didn't know. I just really like the name Evie. I really like your name as well, then. Hello, just got home from work. I'll be continuing to read Ruth. Ooh, you're also reading Ruth. Hope everyone is enjoying VICTOBER so far. Yes, I hope you're all having a great VICTOBER. Deborah, let us know how you're feeling about Ruth. Hi, Nancy. I'm hoping to finish Aurora Lee today or tomorrow. Oh, I also still have that on my shelves, but I'm so intimidated by it's like poetry, but like in a big format. Wow, words. I'm so intimidated by that, but everyone says it's like a fun read, but I cannot imagine reading in poetry format and then having fun. I don't know. Is it fun? Hi, Molly. Reading Lorna Doone. Loving it, but it'll take me the majority of the month. I'm seeing a lot of people read that this year. Does it like really fit very well with one of the prompts? Hi, Roy. I'm cooking. Very nice. Oh, I wanted to ask, but Michelle already asked me what you're cooking. Um, Something suitably Victorian. Eel pie. Oh, that's gross. Okay, we do have a quiz about Victorian food. So once I've gone through the comments, we can do that one. Sort of a lentil dal, an empire, an empire special. Yeah, I mean that's way more edible than anything Victorian I have seen. So yeah, it all sounds yummy. Finish my Hester chapters for today. Well done. I really enjoyed today's chapters. Did you as well? I felt like, ooh, we're getting a little bit plotty. I got 62% in of Aurelie, 58 of our mutual friends. Oh, love that one. 27% of Lilith and 24% of Dracula. You're reading so many things at the same time. Well done. I don't think I could do that. I'm already intimidated, or I already find it challenging to not read Hester in one go, to be so patient with it. But I can do it. I also finished my Hester chapters and read the chapter of the Moonstone. How are you feeling about Hester? I want details. I'm enjoying it so much. I'm meant to be working, but I've snuck in to say hi. Hi, Katie. Yay! Hi, Katie. I'm very much enjoying listening to Dracula. Tim Curry is one of the narrators. Oh, it's multiple narrators. Love that as always. Aurora is interesting and the poetry is beautiful, but it takes me longer to read. Yeah, I bet. Um, I'm enjoying it. Not far into it yet, but I will get there. Is that about Ruth? I think so. Let me see. Oh no, you're talking about Hester. Let's see. Yes, I'm glad you're also enjoying Hester. I know that someone is reading Lilith. I've still got the book in hand. I'm very interested in George MacDonald now. Yeah, I feel like Roy's challenge got a lot of people out of their comfort zone and reading books from lesser known authors, which I love. Yesterday's Hester chapters kind of bored me, but today's got me interested again. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a great time because I love all the small town gossip vibes. So I've never been really bored. Um, but yeah, today's chapters were more interesting, more plotty. I am really enjoying Hester. Woo! It's easy to read. I know, right? It's so engaging and easy, and the characters are interesting. I feel like we're all really enjoying. What do you want to say, Hester? All right, I have a quiz. There are 4 questions, and you can just leave anything in the comments when you want to. And it is based on one of my favorite YouTube series, which is called The Victorian Way, which an historical actor called, I don't know what she's called, but she plays a cook that actually existed in the Victorian era in the 1890s called Mrs. Crocombe. And she makes everything that Mrs. Crocombe puts in her recipe book, and it's really really fun to watch. And I have a few photos of what she made, and she makes it with historically accurate utensils and everything, and we can guess what it is. And I have put a little bit information on who would eat it, because Mrs. Crocombe was a cook for a big household, so she would cook for rich people but also for servants, and within servants you also had different ranks. She's always very snarky about who is allowed to eat the fancy foods, which I love. So I have 4 pictures, and then we can guess in the comments what it is, or if you don't know what it is, guess who it was for, if it was like for the lower servants or the more senior servants, which is like the cook, the housekeeper, the butler, or for like the lady and the lord. So I am going to show. Wait, right. I need to do some digital things to be able to show it. Which always StreamYard isn't not the easiest thing. Right, yes, so we have our wonderful Mrs. Crocombe. Let's see if this is easier. No, it's not. Yeah, I think you can see it a little bit better like this. So, what is the dish? No, you cannot see it better. I was lying. Uh, wow, StreamYard is not my friend today. Why, StreamYard? Why? All right, we'll just do this. All right. So the first one, either guess what it is or what is in it or who would eat it. So the first one is this. So this is a still from the YouTube series, which if you search the Victorian Way, you'll get there. I mean, it's a very popular series for a reason. It's incredibly just fun and so relaxing to watch. It's not like when you see the recipes, it's not like, oh my gosh, I want to make that myself. Some maybe, but there's like um, some ingredients that don't look so super tasty, or like a lot of things you have to boil for hours, like puddings and stuff. I don't know why they used to do that. Um, ooh, we have a first guess, which I'm loving. I'm loving that guess. Someone says lavender shortbread. Oh, the comments are coming in. I feel like I've seen this in a period piece. They look like either Welsh cakes or biscuits. I don't know what Welsh cakes are. I will have to say, Miss Crocombe has taught me this, that Victorians had so many different names for the same things. So it's very possible that these are also Welsh cakes. It's not what she called them, but it really depends on where in the UK you were. So sometimes she gives like a recipe and then it's like, well, I'm from Devonshire and I call it this, but now that I work here, we call it this. Oh, and I think over in Scotland, they call it this. So um, she didn't call them Welsh cakes. She called them sad cakes. Oh wait, my face is in front of it. Oh my gosh, that's not helpful. Um, wait, okay, I'm just okay. Let's see. Like, honestly, why is my face in front of it? So rude. Oh, better, so much better. So, sad cakes, simple biscuits made from pastry. Did I spell it right? I don't know. You guys, I'm dyslexic, forgive me. With raisins made for the servants. And this is a fun episode because she made them with just like leftover pastry as well, you guys. You're not making fresh pastry for the lower servants. Absolutely not. And she just put in a few raisins, like not royally, just a few of them. And she put on some butter as well. And then she was like, yeah, the garden boys love to grab these from the plates. And it's like, you have to do something with leftovers because I don't throw anything away. She gets so much shade when she makes something for the servants. There's also a video making soup for the poor. That's gold, absolute gold. No, I'm guessing they're not chocolate chips. No, she does use chocolate, but I think like eating chocolate is what Mrs. Crocombe calls it, was expensive. They mostly had like cocoa powder. That's so unappetizing. I mean, it does also have sugar, so I don't know. I think if you could make them yourself and you could add like a little bit of cinnamon, it might be nice. It might taste no idea what it is. Yeah, I mean maybe they're also Welsh cakes. Like I don't know what Welsh cakes are, so possibly. Right, next one. This one. I'll just keep my photo small so you can see it really well. This was one of the more interesting recipes I saw. Also, she used a certain animal product that just grossed me out so much when she was preparing it, so I skipped that part. But that's a little hint for you there. It has a gross animal product, which most Victorian dishes, this is mostly sweet, but most savory dishes had some sort of gross animal part. They were not vegetarians, were they? Ooh, I think it's kind of like that. I'll give you another second for with some guesses. It has an ingredient that you wouldn't think a Victorian would use. Suet pudding, I think. Oh my gosh, yes, she said, I remember this in the video. She said she uses a gross animal thing, and she said, but some people use suet. So I think you're very close. Spotted pudding, boiled pudding with dripping. I mean, I think you're all very close. So this has a very sweet name, and it's called Lady Betty's Delight. A more expensive layer pudding for the lady of the house. It contains foreign ingredients like fresh coconut and nutmeg. I think nutmeg was quite standard of a spice, but she had fresh coconut, which the maid, she or like the cookery scullery maid, something like that, and need to smash the coconut and just get it out of there with a knife. Like it has actual fresh coconut, which was expensive, I guess. But it also has currants, bread, and the gross animal stuff, bone marrow, which I'm so glad. Like we don't really use anymore in modern cooking, do we? But she made it in such a fun way, where she used a tin and she had multiple layers of everything. So she used some bread, custard, coconut, currants, and then made multiple layers like you're making a tiramisu. And then the little syrup is coconut water, actually, with turned into a syrup. So I feel like it's such an exotic product. I know bone marrow, and she like I know that they use everything accurately in the show, but they don't eat it because I guess there's like toxins in their pans and pots and everything. But yeah, I would not want to eat that either. I hear that Burma is very healthy, but I do agree it's not appetizing. Yeah, I'm sure it's very healthy, but I became a little bit sick while watching this. Was her a serial killer raging as a Victorian cook? Yes, it was human bone marrow, Evie. You're absolutely right. But this, you could also use suet. And I know there's vegan suet. So this would be something I would try to make because the idea of the fresh coconut sounds really nice. I don't know if I want to add currants in it though. I don't know how nice it is. I would not survive the recipe. I don't think you would. No. Even in their salads, it's like I'm adding 5 eggs. Yeah, you would just eat bread because unless you were rich fruits and vegetables were also hard to get, especially if you lived in the city. So yeah, it's good that you live now, I think. All right, next one. Oh, this is one for the vegans. That's my hint. Um, I don't know if you will guess this, but again, there was a lot of shade from Mrs. Crocombe about um, one ingredient that's in here and that she felt a lot of pride about, especially in connection to the gardeners, which I don't think we would. No, there's not a lot of pride in that anymore. I think that specific ingredient, but of course they didn't have electricity and things like that to make things work in the garden. So I'll give you a minute to think what this is. All right, we're getting some guesses. This is actually something you could like easily make. I don't think anyone really does make this, but I think it will be an edible option. So we all see that's a soup. That's great. Asparagus, onion. Yeah, but it's not something I think. I mean, I've never seen it on a menu or in the supermarket because it's not usually what we do with this vegetable. So I'll give you one more minute to think about it. But again, the shade in this episode was so fun. There's also a parody made for Mrs. Crocombe. That is so funny. I've watched it 3 times and I'm laughing every time when I watch it. Cabbage soup? I feel like no, that's not something we eat now. So that could work. Maybe the Victorians did eat that, but I was so surprised. This is cucumber soup. They used to make cucumber soup, and it's a summer dish that would show off the skill and wealth of the garden of the house, as you need about 20 cucumbers, and they are apparently hard to grow without like the warmth, and just this climate is hard to grow cucumbers. Apparently, um, that could also work leek. I feel like, but cucumber soup, I was very surprised, and also surprised if you can see she added cayenne pepper. Like I get the parsley that's in her hand, but like the cayenne pepper with cucumber soup. Also, I've never eaten a warm cucumber. I don't plan to. But she says in the video that she prefers cooked cucumbers over fresh ones. So I don't know if they had like a different kind of flavor. Maybe they were a bit bitter back then. Everything the actress says is a note, or most of it is a note that the actual cook made in her diaries, which is so interesting. But yeah, no, I don't think anyone guessed this, so I don't think I would have either. And then I have one more before we do our next reading sprint. This one is fun. It was very fun to watch as well, to watch her make this. Um, so this is, as you can see from the table setting, a bit festive. Oh, wait, about the cucumber. I think it's served cold. Oh, so then you would cook the cucumbers true, but then you would serve it cold. That does make sense. That sounds a little bit less gross. Cold cucumber soup, like gazpacho with the tomatoes, which I haven't had such a long time. Wow. So this is not something I think I would eat, but it does sound fun to try sometime, maybe. Oh, okay. This is in the episode calls for jelly. Yeah. So she said that you would usually have jelly made of calf's feet, which she explained how you would make that. Um, but she said, I allow one modern thing in my kitchen, and that is gelatin. So she said that she usually uses calf's feet, which like worse than bone marrow, um, but not for this one. Yeah, she did use gelatin to make these puddings. These are champagne jellies, a New Year's dish made from real champagne for the lords and ladies. So it's basically just a whole bottle of champagne with some gelatin, and then you have a little bit of gelatin cooked down with sugar, and a little bit of champagne, and then mixed with the cold champagne. And then I think they put it in a bit of an ice box, which, like, I'm still puzzled on where they would get ice, but I'm sure that's a dumb thing of me to think. But how would they get ice? I'm still like, how would they like? I still want to find that out. Like, how would they treat food? Because I could not live a day without my refrigerator. Um, but the goal was to it's Jello shots. Kind of, yes, because she would do it in a way that the bubbles would still be in the jellies. So I think it would be fun to taste, but it also feels like a waste of champagne if I'm being totally honest. Yeah, maybe during New Year's they would get it from outside. Maybe, yeah. Something else to Google. There's always something to Google. All right. Well, those were the few food-related quizzes I had for today. We'll have author-related quizzes for after the next sprint. But let's do another sprint. Get some reading in. See our timer. Yes, and then I hope you all have a wonderful 45 minutes. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a good reading sprint. I mostly listened to the audiobook of Ruth, and I cannot find my bookmark. Oh no! Alright, using my tabs. I read until chapter 4. They're quite long, so I'm on page 51. I would be infuriated at one of these characters if it wasn't for Elizabeth Gaskell already letting us know in the way that she's writing this book that he's a bad man. We're not going to glorify anything, we're not going to romanticize anything. Elizabeth Gaskell knows what she is writing, and kind of is letting us know it's going to be okay. I know what I'm doing, I've got you, but still enraging, nerve-wracking. I wish it was a thing of the past, but it feels all too familiar. So yeah, enjoying reading it, even though it is super enraging. Let's see if I have missed any comments. If you have also been reading, let me know how your reading went. This is... Wait, oh my gosh, I cannot read it. Katie letting us know about the refrigerating question. Big fancy Victorian houses often had ice houses outside, in a cold place in the gardens, semi-underground and kept dark, packed with ice in winter so that it would stay cold as long as possible. I need a picture. Like, I need an illustration that someone made of it, because that sounds fascinating. Yay, I'm happy you like the games. Yes, Katie, definitely go watch The Victorian Way. It's mostly Mrs. Crocombe, but they also have a few about laundry and about the garden. And I just love that they all are they're like historical interpreters, I think, the actors. And it's just, like, it could be like cringe, but like I don't mind at all. I just enjoy people doing it as a passion. I love it. Food-related quizzes at 9 p.m. are not a good idea. I hope the bone marrow discussion kind of lessened your hunger in that regard, because it definitely did mine. Definitely bougie jellies, yes. Yes, outside cold storage. I think she literally says that in the video as well, but then I was like, what would that look like? Just like a shed, partly underground? Very curious. Thank you so much for joining, Evie. I'm glad you were here. Right, I have another quiz that we could do if you want to. So let me grab the quizzes again. So this is guess the author based on a part of the author portrait. Some more comments. 65 are Aurelie, 60 of a mutual friend, 30 and 25. I feel like you're going at a good pace, and I love that you read like a few pages of every book during the sprint. Love that. Okay, sorry, but your username is funny. Okay, Cinnamon the Exotic Dancing Spider. Love it. Hi. All right, let's grab the quiz. Wait, we're still in the right part, I believe. Yes, right, and my head is not in front of the slide again. Thank goodness. Oh, my Wi-Fi is giving me a signal. I apologize if my Wi-Fi... Oh, no, I think we're fine again. It's not doing well. Please let me know in the comments if you cannot hear or see me well. So this is Guess the Author, and does anyone recognize this beautiful portrait? Because of course we see a very well beautified version, I personally think, of a young Queen Victoria. So this is the first one. This is part of a portrait of a Victorian author. Does anyone have any guesses? I try to not pick super famous authors, because then it will be way too easy. Like if you would see even just Charles Dickens's mustache, you know it's Charles Dickens. So this is definitely not Charles Dickens. So I will give you a second to guess. Guesses are rolling in. Oh, I just did the same picture twice. It's the same person. I'm sorry if that was confusing, but I thought if I would just show it once, you would have to zoom in really well, and this might be easier to view. Um, we have a Margaret Oliphant, an Elizabeth Gaskell, and again Margaret Oliphant. So let's see who it is. And indeed, it's Margaret Oliphant. Which do I know? I don't have my copy of Hester here. Still didn't come, but of course, most of us who are joining VICTOBER are reading Margaret Oliphant. So I think this is the only photograph of her. Next one. We have a mustache. This is the easiest of the bunch, but it's just such an iconic mustache, I think. Definitely. Ooh, who do I know is reading this author? I mean, he's on my TBR, but I have multiple men on my TBR, which I usually don't actually do, but I do have some men on my TBR this year. Is he on more people's TBRs that I know of? Yeah, he's on Ross's TBR as well. On the ultimate hint, he's definitely not on Kate's TBR. Yay, you all guessed it. This is the one and only Thomas Hardy. Yes. Well done. I mean, this is one of his. There are more photographs of him, but I guess he was a bit of a late Victorian as well with his publishing, especially. This is very much a later photograph of him, but I feel like the older this man got, the more iconic his mustaches became. So, all right. Next one. This one is difficult. If anyone guesses this one, well done. So this is definitely the only photograph of this person. I think there are one or two portraits, but this author is not as famous as the other ones. And I believe they only wrote, or at least they only published one full-length novel, which is consequently one of my favorites. But yeah, I don't even think I would have guessed this, but I don't really hear a lot of people talk about this author during VICTOBER. And I do, it is actually a Victorian author. It would be so dumb. No, they're not American. I'm pretty sure they're British. But yeah, they're one full-length novel, one of my favorites. It's also for children, written for children mostly. There is a 1994 film that has made every millennial woman cry, for sure, or more hints. The book and the film include animals. Oh, my Wi-Fi is really bad. Oh gosh. I hope you can still see me and hear me. I have literally 1 bar of Wi-Fi. I bet a bad boy is downloading a game right now or something like that. But yeah, I don't think anyone is going to guess this because she's difficult. Oh my gosh, someone guessed it? I know. Like Anna Sewell, yes! Oh my gosh, Carolyn, you are next level with your knowledge of portraits. Yes. I mean, it's quite a vague. I think it is a photograph, right? Yeah, but just probably it was quite small and cheap, and it looks like it's been like some parts are with a pencil as well. I'm not sure, but this is the best image I could find. Yeah. Black Beauty, indeed. I loved that book. It made me cry when I read it for the first time last year. Right, we have one more, which is, I thought maybe you can recognize the dress, the jewelry. I feel like the chair and the table are quite standard. Oh, it was the animal clue. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that it was not just the hairdo, but yeah, Black Beauty is wonderful. So This, I think you would only really know if you've seen the portrait. Um, let's see. Um, okay, this author did have a book that was once a Victober group read. Yes. And I read it as well for a Victober when it was a group read. So you would have to know all the group reads that were ever picked um, to know who this is. I would say when the group read was picked, it's not their best known work. Their best known work is something I've read the first chapter of. I know that Virginia Woolf was a fan. I think Virginia Woolf wrote. Oh, this I would actually have to fact check, but I believe that Virginia Woolf wrote a book on her dog, but that could also be someone else. So I don't know exactly, but I believe that's her. The desk is amazing. I mean, just looking at the furniture of the Victorian era, and then I look at my IKEA furniture, I'm grateful because it's affordable, but also, where has the beauty gone? I love, yeah, yes. Oh my god, you guys got it. I'm so proud. Yes, it's Flush. Yes, the Virginia Woolf hint. Yes, I believe so. Oh my gosh, I didn't get it wrong, right? No. You know, those names are so alike. I knew it wasn't right about Flush. Okay, so I got the names confused because Flush is about the other one. Yeah. So I gave a wrong hint. Shame on me. Um, those names are like, but this is Mary Elizabeth Brennan who wrote The Doctor's Wife. Yes, I know this is called dyslexia. If you've never seen dyslexia in the wild, I have just introduced you to it. Um, I am glad that you all know about Flush, though. I've not yet read it, but I'm glad that yes, she wrote Lady Audley's Secret. I completely understand that a lot of people say Mrs. Gaskell as well because Elizabeth Gaskell has this portrait as well where she wears this big black dress. So that would have maybe been my guess as well. But Mary Elizabeth Brennan wrote The Doctor's Wife. I'm not going to double check if I have these two authors constantly confused with each other. That would be very annoying for me. And it would make this quiz very messy. But yeah, all right. So she wrote Lady Ollie's Secret, Aurora Floyd. Please tell me that she also wrote The Doctor's Wife. Wait, do I have it right here? Because we read that last year or the year before for Victober. All right. Okay. I am glad that not all my hints were about the wrong author. Oh, thank you for confirming this for me. Yes, that's a funny thing. I read that for Victober, which was my first Mary Elizabeth Brennan. I wanted to read Lady Audley's Secret first, but I try to always read the group read as well. And I remembered nothing of that book. So, yeah, that was an incredibly forgettable read for me. I still want to read the gosh, wow, it's getting late for me somehow. My brain is not working very well anymore. Lady Audley's Secrets, still want to read that because I read the first chapter, fascinated by it. All right, so those were the quizzes, right? Okay. Well, thank you for joining me for a messy quiz once again. I do want to do one more sprint because I still have to read 30 pages of Ruth. I don't know if I can do that in 45 minutes, but I'm going to try. And then I've reached my daily goal. Oh, you're recommending books to each other. Really good. I'm so, I was still so embarrassed that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know such a good hint. Virginia Woolf wrote a book about her dog," and you guys were all, "Oh, I know this," and it was the wrong author. That will now be on the internet forever if I keep this live, which is like why I didn't want to do lives earlier on in my booktube career, because I know that like it's both dyslexia and me just being not very how should I say this? I say a lot of things without thinking about them, and I was like I cannot edit this. People can see it, and it will stay on the internet forever. But then I was like, who cares? Who cares? Um, I'm great. You're having fun. I'm happy about that. All right. Shall we do another 45 minutes? And that will be the final sprint, because then it will be around 10 o'clock for me. Yay. They are. Thank you. uh, yes, especially dyslexic people. Happens all the time. I am already so proud of myself that I have like gotten to know this second language in the way that it feels like a second language and not something that I would be reasonably good at school. Um, Lisbeth B. All right, let's do another 45 minutes and then. Um, oh, okay, you're also sweet. I wasn't fishing for compliments, but thank you. I appreciate them nonetheless. Yeah, I have some more ideas for games. And I will note down my hints beforehand. All right, let's do another 45. And then hopefully we can all reach our goals, our reading goals, or whatever goals you have. If you have a goal of watching TV, that's also amazing. All right, I'll shut up now. Hello, hello, welcome back. Oh, I'm so sleepy. The words started dancing on the page. Um, I am literally a page and a half away from finishing my reading goal today, which means I have read 80 pages of Ruth during these sprints, which I'm very pleased with. Really enjoying this. This is so fast paced, like the thing you know is going to happen in this book. It's not like dragged out, it happens quite quickly. And ooh, enraging. Especially like we know there's a male villain in this book, we all know it, but even more upsetting I find is the way the women treat each other. Um, yeah, that's even more upsetting to me. Like, you would not expect another woman to treat another woman like that. But it is very engaging to read. So I'm excited to read more of this week. How are you all doing? I am going to go in a bit because that was the last sprint. It's been 10 o'clock for me now. Um, I need to get all of the pins out of my hair because I tried a bit of a vintage outfit for like a vlog I was filming and for you guys here. So a lot of work. Um, I'm perimenopause. I have perimenopausal brain. I judge no one for making mistakes anymore. I'm the same. I mean, that I don't judge people. And I put the washing machine on last week, thankfully on a quick cycle, completely empty. Hello. I read Ruth last year and I agree with your comments. Um, did you like it overall though? Did like the wrap up of the book? Because I see a lot of people say this is not my favorite, but so far, like I don't know what's going to happen. There is this one thing that I'm like, oh, please don't be like uh, too Victorian about this. Please don't be all self-sacrificing about this and just choose your own well-being. But I'm not sure she's going to. I haven't read much since the first friend. That's okay, but I've enjoyed the company. Thank you for being here. I like it overall, but it's not North and South or Wives and Daughters, right? But those are high standards. Um, right, I'm going to go. Thank you so much to the people who were here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Uh, and probably see you next Wednesday. I mean, it kind of depends. I'm not really sure what next week will look like for me, but I think we'll probably have some more sprints and games next Wednesday. Um, all right, see you very soon. Bye.